Hello everyone, this is John Pocknell with Quest Software, and I'm going to walk you through real quick how to use the Quest Toad Benefits Calculator. So this is a tool that's going to help you calculate the return on investment and payback period and net present value of your investment in Toad for Oracle, whether it's for a development team or a DBA team or both. This is a quick and easy to use tool that can be accessed from the product page on quest.com. So if you go to quest.com/product/Toad for Oracle, there's a button there, Justify Your Toad, and that will take you straight to this calculator. Okay, so this tool applies to Toad for Oracle, which is the world's #1 Oracle IDE, and it applies to the term license version, where you're buying a term license over 3 years. Doesn't apply to the subscription version. There's a subscription version of Toad for Oracle. This doesn't apply to that, and so you'll get a quick and easy to use report of what that investment will look like. I'm going to go ahead and take the assessment. So first of all, we need some information about your company and the sort of size of your development DBA team. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my company name here. Industry, let's say IT services, the location of your company is pretty global, as you can see, and your primary platform. Might be Oracle, might be some other platform. And then on the right hand side, want some information about your setup, so your DBA team size, your developer team size. You can, if you're just interested in investment on the developer tools for using Toad for Oracle, then you could just leave it at 0 for DBAs, and vice versa for the DBA team that you're looking to make an investment for, then leave the developers as 0. So I'm going to do both actually. So say we have a fairly small team of 30 developers, and we have 2 DBAs, so it's a fairly small organization. Number of end users, this basically means the number of people that are using the application or the database that excludes developers and DBAs and other people at the sort of non-production, pre-production side, okay? So let's say 500 end users. And then on some information about the application that you're supporting, so the number of application launches or upgrades that you have a year. This can be, this is a sliding scale, so you can just select this scale and just say, okay, in my case I've got, let's say, 4 launches or upgrades per year. And the number of development months of release, so what's the length of your software development lifecycle. We're still using waterfall in our company, so let's go with 2 months. Maybe more than that, maybe less than that. If it's agile, probably a lot less than that, right? And then an estimate of the annual business value per launch. How much business value are you providing every time you make a release or upgrade the application? Again, it just be an estimate. Put 10,000 in there. Okay. And then some information about downtime, because using Toad for Oracle, you're going to be able to experience less downtime because you'll have building a higher quality application that performs better, scales faster. That's the goal, right? So number of this is your current state. How many unplanned downtime issues do you get a year that require development involvement? So let's say, let's be optimistic, right? Say 4. Number of hours typically to respond each of these issues. All right, so let's go with roughly 2 hours. And that's it. And then there's some detailed assumptions as well. Now these cover things like, how do your developers and DBAs actually spend their time? What are they paid? How many hours a week do they work? And these are drawn from sort of industry averages, but you can go into each of these and you can get information about how we've arrived at this number, and you can go in and edit the number if you so wish. So I'm just going to edit one of them, which is the amount of time that DBA spend on database performance, because I feel like 10% is a little on the low side. I know that my DBAs are spending a lot longer than that on tuning SQL, and you can tweak any of these other numbers as well. Okay, so close that. And that's it as far as this is concerned. I can go ahead and click results, and I'll get a results summary. And the results summary is telling me that what my return on investment is over 3 years, the net present value, and the payback period over that 3-year period. In order to get a more detailed analysis, I need to provide some personal information, because we can email you a PDF version of this report that you can then use as part of your business case, which I'm sure you'll need to do. You need to present this information to your executives if you're looking to make an investment in Toph Oracle. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this information in here. And email address. And job title and city. I'm based in the UK, so and you make sure you put all this data in, because otherwise it won't you won't be able to process. And zip code, or in my case a postcode. And that's it. So then I'll go ahead and see results. And now I get a detailed version of this. I get all this other information that's been calculated. The results summary is still on the right hand side, but it's got a bit more information. It's broken down into different sections according to what options you selected at the beginning. And then it's got also information about what these terms mean if you're not familiar with ROI and things like that. So there's the explanation of what ROI is, the explanation of what net present value means, the payback period, which is fairly self-explanatory. You can go and edit the company profile that you filled in at the beginning if there's something you want to change. Let's say you want to change the number of DBAs or the number of developers. And then the results, the detailed results, is broken into developer benefits, DBA benefits, downtime and time to market benefits. So you can see the total benefits there up front, and then you can see the investments. So investments in license and maintenance. So the initial license cost, which is based on, these calculations are based on the license for Toph Oracle Developer Edition and Toph Oracle DBA Edition, just so you can make a comparison, and obviously the number of users. And so that arrives at that initial cost. Maintenance cost is based on 25% of that license cost in years 2 and 3, because it's already included in year 1. So you see the total investment, and then you see the financial summary broken down by benefits, investment, and net benefits. Okay, over 3 years. You can go into each of these different areas and make adjustments if you so wish. So, for example, improve database performance for DBAs. So how much time a DBA spends. So remember, we tweaked this from 10% to 20%, and so you can see the improvement there is about 47% savings, because it's roughly half the amount of time that DBAs typically spend on database performance, because they're using an automated tuning tool. And you see the annual estimated savings. That's with 2 DBAs, remember. If we went to a developer one, like say improve change management on the developer side, again we've got a pretty healthy savings there, £68,000, because we've got 30 developers. We've got a 60% saving on the amount of time that developers spend on change management, because of things like schema compare and sync, database compare and sync, to develop the change scripts. So you get much more accurate change scripts, and therefore your time spent doing change management is significantly lower than it would have been doing it the manual way. And you can see graphically what those benefits look like. Okay, so with all that said, you can go ahead and click Get Your Report, and that report will wing its way over to you, and it will look something like this. So this is the report you'll get: Quest Toph Benefits Report created for and your company name, an executive summary with the high-level data broken down with the benefits and investment costs over the 3 years, that you can use as part of your business justification when you go to your executives and say, we're interested in making this investment in Toad. We've done all the due diligence. Here's the ROI, all the other numbers and benefits, and hopefully you can move forward on that. So thanks very much for listening. Remember, if you need access to this, go to quest.com/product/Toad for Oracle and click Justify Your Toad, and it will take you right there. Thank you very much for listening.